Welcome back, dear viewers. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching this edition of The Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International. Now it's time for our press review segment for today. And we are most delighted to be joined in the studio to comment and analyze the headlines in the Egyptian dailies, Mr. Ahmed Naguib, a political commentator. First of all, good morning, sir, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Karim.
And dear viewers, we begin today's press review segment from المصري اليوم, and we read President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Wednesday attended the Army's annual iftar. The iftar was attended by Defense Minister Sidi Subhi, Chief of Staff Mahmoud Hagazi, and a number of military commanders. It was also attended by Prime Minister Sharif Ismail and also Marshal Hussein Tantawi, former Defense Minister, and several state and media figures. Sir, the significance of this event and being held in Ramadan and all these state figures and officials attending this ceremony together.
Yeah. Obviously, this is one of the dates the Egyptians shouldn't ever forget, and especially the Egyptian army. I mean, this date, of course, you have proven a lot of things, not only to yourself but to the whole world. So I guess you have to celebrate it every year, but even with more publicity. I see the matter went a little bit domestically. But if you look around, Russian, for example, they celebrate the Victory Day until now with a huge celebration, and everybody is somehow, it's a kind of party, I mean.
Yes.
And also reinforcing the inside spirit of we are strong, we are capable, we are in full alert, we learn from the previous lessons. So it's really something to revive the old memories, good and bad, and put you on track, because I mean, till the moment, look around you, things are on fire, and you need to prove to yourself and to your possible enemies that you are there, ready, and
yes.
And I like the spirit, frankly, with the military spirit, and maybe we would like to see it out of the military life, maybe in the civilian life as well. So congratulations for us and for our military.
Yes, indeed, sir. And still with المصري اليوم, and we read Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry receives on Thursday France's Middle East envoy, who is currently on a visit to Egypt. The two officials are expected to discuss the latest efforts aimed at boosting peace negotiations in the Middle East. Meanwhile, Shoukry is due to meet his Irish counterpart, Charlie Flanagan, and also the two ministers will discuss bilateral relations and means of boosting them in all domains. Mr. Ahmed, I believe that the Egyptian Foreign Ministry is exerting a lot of effort to boost bilateral relations with all its partners, strategic allies and partners, and also Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry has been meeting with his counterparts from Europe as well as from Africa to in order to retain Egypt's regional and international role.
Yes, Karim. I'll take from your first statement. Indeed, our Ministry of Foreign Affairs is exerting a hell of a good efforts. I mean, it's really seen and sensed by all means. France specifically are under scope this period of time. They are quite active. They play an active role, I mean, worldwide, not only on the Palestinian file, but defending their country and trying to stop somehow.
Yes, and they're also witnessing a wave of unrest as well.
Yeah, so you feel them like more or less driven by or somehow fighting seriously terrorism, because they touch it by themselves, and they realized the social, the security issues, which somehow can disturb your whole life, I mean, as a citizen or as a country. So it is very well understood that Egypt and France get closer. France special envoy comes to Egypt to synchronize with respect to the Palestinian file. It is one of those cases where...
and I believe also there are other sensitive issues that are going to be discussed, such as, of course, the situation in Libya and in Syria, of course.
Definitely. Your title just mentioned about the Palestinian file, because maybe it's the most sounding, but of course there is a lot of urgent files to discuss with France. Now we are close, we are in coordination somehow on the military and economical level, so we need really to gain, as Egypt, more and more alliances, because some of the, one of the issues from my personal point of view, the Palestinian problem has been always within the circle of the Americans and Israel and Palestine, plus Egypt. Sometimes there is an invitation to Turkey, whoever, but I think the new approach, and this is something driven by our administration, is that you need to form a lobby, an international strong lobby, by which you can put pressure on all parties. You cannot only depend on the other party, which is Israel and USA. This will take you to no resolution. So I think by having a wider lobby, like France, like other European countries, like Russia, like China, Japan, whoever,
they can pile pressure on Israel.
Yes, you can put some pressure on both. I don't want to say only Israel, but on both, because also we have on the Palestinian level, you have internal problems. So
that they have to come together to the negotiations table.
This is something which support the other party, like being like this. So unless they both together realize that for their own nation benefit, they have to unify. They are taking us nowhere, and they are not helping their own case, actually.
Moving on to أخبار اليوم, where we read Defense Minister Sidi Subhi said on Wednesday that the 10th of Ramadan victory's anniversary will continue to be a landmark day in Egypt's history. This came in a speech delivered by Major General Saeed Abbas, Assistant Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, on behalf of the Commanding General during the ceremony held by the Armed Forces on the occasion of the 10th of Ramadan. Dear viewers, we're going to be taking a look at this report, shedding more light on this occasion, and we'll be right back.
Egypt marks on Wednesday the anniversary of the 10th of Ramadan war victory against Israel. Marking the occasion, the army congratulated the Egyptian people. Army spokesman Brigadier General Mohammed Samir said that the 10th of Ramadan war victory will always be a source of pride of all generations to come. Interior Minister General Magdi Abdel Ghaffar sent a congratulatory message on the occasion to Chief Commander of Armed Forces, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and General Commander of the Armed Forces, Minister of Defense, Lieutenant General Sidi Subhi. The 6th of October War 1973, which always occurred actually on the 10th of Ramadan, was fought by the coalition of Arab states led by the Egyptian army against Israel, which was then occupying the Sinai Peninsula. In the war, which was launched in the holy month of Ramadan, the Egyptian troops maneuvered and surprised the enemy, sending shock waves among the front of the Israeli occupation soldiers, leading to huge gains in the first 3 days of the war.
Moving on to Salah al-Balad, where we read Egypt's military killed 25 terrorists, terrorist elements affiliated with the Sinai province militia on early Wednesday, according to military sources. The forces also arrested 6 elements during the security raids that targeted the terrorist bastions in North Sinai's Sheikh Zayed city. The Egyptian army has been battling terrorism
for too long now.
Yeah, they're plaguing Sinai. If you can comment on the efforts of the Egyptian military as well as the police.
Yeah, it's really admirable that they keep such momentum, and even during the Ramadan time. And that's why we just have to tell them, give them all the support and backup and thank them for this, and thank them their family, to tell you the truth. I mean, because every family needs
hundreds of personnel have sacrificed their lives for the sake of the country.
And it's really something of a great value, and again and again unify the country, because when you have an enemy of such danger, I mean, you as a country, you need to unify yourself, stand behind your soldiers, and it's clear that it's somehow reducing. I mean, the danger reducing, and we are getting more and more in control. So it's a matter of time, and I think things will be back to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now back to Egypt independent, where we read Egypt became the world's fourth biggest weapons importer, spending almost $2.3 billion in 2015, according to the consulting company IHS Incorporation. Before 2013, the country spent $1 billion or less annually, but there's been this ramp up, according to Ben Moores, a senior defense analyst at IHS Aerospace, Defense and Security, who wrote the report. Under President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, Egypt has purchased weapons from both France, the United States, and also the French imports include Rafale jet fighters and the FREMM class frigate. And earlier this month, Egypt raised its flag aboard the first of two French Mistral class helicopter carriers at a handing over ceremony at the French port of Toulouse in France. Has also agreed to supply satellite communications technology to Egypt, and recently signed a new arms deal worth of $1 billion. Sir?
Yeah, it's for some people they see it something like these amounts of money may be directed to the economy. No, my friends, it doesn't come like this. I mean, unless you are strong, stable, and in control of your borders and your own security, there is nothing, there is no economy, there is no investment. So we should start from one. We cannot start from three. So for the people who just see this as a lot of spending, this is something which comes very much on time. When you look around you, you have to put as first priority your security. And secondly, these deals with France, with USA, and with other countries, I mean, there is Russia as well, and there is other, as I understood, some with Czech and Germany. I mean, you also enhance your relationships, because this involves some industrial capabilities as well, and transfer of know-how. It's not only buying a boat or an aeroplane, but involves a lot of know-how in it. So it's not bad to spend some money on armament. This is something which should happen from time to time, especially when you are exposed to danger. And this, I don't believe, will continue forever. It will be for maybe a couple of years and so on. And then hopefully when things get back to stabilization within our neighborhoods, I think we can move forward again with more investment in the economy. And at that time, the investment will even come to us. We will not seek for it.
Yes. And then finally, we go to Al-Ahram newspaper, where we read Egypt's main index, EGX 30, dipped 2.05% to 7,414 points as blue chips plunged amid low turnover levels. And Egyptian for tourism resorts plunged 5% to 0.77 a share. And non-Arab foreign investors were net sellers to the tune of $29 million. And Egypt stocks rallied on Wednesday, buoyed by positive news regarding two of Egypt's largest financial institutions. So we're seeing a positive performance here by the Egyptian stock market. How do you think this will impact the economy?
Yeah, the Egyptian stock market has been through maybe the last couple of years. I mean, fluctuating. Yeah. So I cannot be happy with this news and then tomorrow have another one which where the figures comes down and then we all feel pessimistic. No, it's not the case. We just approach, I mean, in a period where there is, of course, instability somehow with the stock market. But I believe we will see more or I mean better performance and more stable and improving numbers when we have new companies introduced to the stock market, because we are dealing with the same companies for a while. Maybe we need fresh blood, as we said, new investments, I mean, in new industries and new big companies for sales, I mean, profitable ones. I mean, we need to look to it in a way which encourage people to put their investment. We have a culture going for real estate, and this is something I have realized. A lot of people have pulled out maybe from the stock market to invest in real estate. They believe it's more stable, they believe it's more profitable and things like this. So the Egyptians in general are somehow confused with what to do and where to invest for the time being. But it's normal, and it will get settled very soon, hopefully.
We hope so. And
we hope so.
By this, dear viewers, by this we wrap up today's press review segment in this edition of the Breakfast Show. We'd like to thank our guest, our very own Mr. Ahmed Naguib, the political commentator. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, and Ramadan Kareem. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And dear viewers, a short break, and we'll be back to resume the remaining segments of the Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International.